What's Hawkin? What's Hawkin? It's your boy, Tay aka TSN, back with episode 3, breaking down the NFL schedules team by team in order of importance to our Super Bowl champion Seahawks. Now, before we get into it, first and foremost, can we just bask in the glory that is the Super Bowl ring for Super Bowl 60? Those rings, fire. If I had the moolah to spend $17,000 on a fan version of that ring, I would do it. Yeah, there's the $1,600 version. That's the sterling silver with the cubic zirconia. But if you're gonna do it, you might as well do it and get the white gold with the diamonds. That's 17 grand. I don't got it. I don't got it. I'm gonna just be honest with you. I ain't got it. If I could get an honorary ring from the Seahawks, by all means, hit my inbox. I can send you the PO box where it needs to be shipped. If you need me to show up to the VMAC and pick it up by, um, in person, I can do that as well. You just let me know if there's a extra ring hanging around the facility for your boy. But I will appreciate it from afar if that is not the case, which I assume is obviously the case. The Seahawks are Super Bowl champions. We will bask in this reality for just a short period of time. We do have training camp just around the corner, but until then, let's look ahead. Let's run it forward in the best way to put yourself in a good position to become a back-to-back Super Bowl champion is to prepare, right? Preparation is definitely, what's the saying? Preparation prevents poor performance or something like that. So that's what this breakdown does. We get to look at the entire NFL schedule by team basis and understand how other team schedules impact the Seahawks season. Uh, Episodes 1 and 2 are out. You guys can go check those out, certainly, and get a full breakdown. But just to get the list going, we've already tackled 20 teams. All right. And I'll list the teams ranked from the 32nd or the least important schedule, not the least important team per se, but schedule as it pertains to the Seahawks. Um, at 32, we had the Browns, 31, Titans, 30, Colts, 29, Bengals, 28, Ravens, 27, Steelers, 26, Texans, 25, Jaguars, 24, Jets, 23, Dolphins, 22, Bills, 21, Saints, 20, Falcons, 19, Bucks, 18, Lions, 17, Vikings, 16, Packers, 15, Patriots, 14, Panthers, and 13, the Chicago Bears. That is the rankings thus far. We're going to go into 8 more teams. So we'll go through rankings 12 through, let me get my math right, 5, I believe. That is correct. 12 through 5 we'll list today. But before we go into it, I just want to shout out y'all. The What's Hawkin family is growing. We have seen some tremendous activity. It seems like y'all are really digging these uh, memory lane posts that we're sharing about moments in Seahawk history, which I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up Happy Father's Day yesterday to all the Seahawk fathers out there. If you are a 12 and you are a father, please make sure that you acknowledge it in the chat. We want to acknowledge all fathers. I personally had a fantastic Father's Day, so much so that I wanted to share with you. what I got for Father's Day as a gift. Um, it's important, if marriage is something that is a goal of yours, it's important to find that special someone. Don't find a wife or husband, find the wife or husband. And I certainly did that because my wife is the wife and she delivered. So I wanted to share what I got. I got, quite a few, quite a few gifts. I won't say a whole lot, but I got some gifts. This isn't the only thing that I received, but this definitely is the belle of the ball in terms of the gifts that I got. It's historic newspapers. So this is the Seahawks history as told through the Seattle Times. So this is all the headlines from the beginning of the Seahawk existence in '76. I'll read just this little blurb. It says, "Welcome to the story of the Seahawks football history. In these pages, you'll relive the team's milestone moments through newspaper reports published at the time. Read the stories of triumph, the epic comebacks, and legendary plays, as well as the coming and going of coaches and key players. This book is full of authentic newspaper articles from the archives, and it's been created just for you to enjoy a trip back in time." This will be up here. This will be sitting up here. I definitely will thumb through this very, very gently. These pages are so delicate, so I don't want this to get destroyed in any way. It even has personalized is it presented to, and it has my name down here in the bottom corner here. Um, Super dope, super dope. So shout out to my wife on that. Um, and the reason why that's relevant is because I want to acknowledge the fact that the memory lane content that we've been sharing has been getting the most attention out of all the content that we've been sharing since this schedule series has started. If you haven't picked up already, every single team that we highlight, we get a little background on what I'm doing here, kind of like a little sneak peek of the episode. We post some memory lane content of some game, some play uh, against the Seahawks and said team at some point in the past, and then we also share the most recent matchup. And those matchups could be wins, losses, blowouts, whatever the case may be. We're sharing the content. It is what it is. We can't control how those games turned out. The past is the past. But it does give us clarity just in regards to what was it like the last time the Seahawks faced, say, the Dolphins or the Patriots. We kind of know what happened the last time we saw them. And just each team. So we'll continue that until we get to obviously uh, through all the opponents, all 31 opposing teams. Um, and yeah, please make sure you like, share, subscribe, all the things to What's Hawkin. It's at What's Hawkin 12 on all platforms, whether you are on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, which we will start to add content through TikTok. We're sloughing and figuring it out. Same thing with Twitter or X, whichever you call it. Um, and of course here on YouTube. Everything is What's Hawkin 12. If you want to know what's happening, what's hawking with your Seattle Seahawks, this is your single source. I just want to shout out our Facebook community. You guys are leading the pack. We have a goal, and all of our goals are centered around the 12s. This is a football page. This is football centric. It just happens to be that we follow the best team in the NFL, the Seahawks. But you could be a fan of any team. We welcome all football fans. We want to make sure that we entertain, that we educate, and that we just cultivate our fandom as football fans. And if you happen to be a Seahawk fan, that's just a bonus, obviously. But so shout out to the community. We have 900 as of the last time I was able to check, and these numbers might have changed, but we have 948 followers on Facebook, 69 on Instagram. We've got three subscribers. here on the channel. So anyone who is following us on Facebook, please make sure that you double triple that up to make sure we get those numbers. Our goals are centered around the number 12, like I said. So our first goal is to reach 1,200 followers, and I'm counting that as through all platforms. So we are pretty close. But certainly, if we can get 1,200 followers on each platform, that's best. Like every single person, if you're following us on one, follow us on all. And then once we reach 1,200, then we'll go to 12,000, then we'll do the 1.2 million. You feel me? Everything will be centered around the 12s in terms of our number goals to represent the best fan base on the planet. But without further ado, let's go to the number 12, no pun intended, team on our list of important schedules as it pertains to our Seahawks. And at number 12, we've got the Las Vegas Raiders. The Las Vegas Raiders um, face all four NFC West teams this year on the schedule. So as the schedule goes, they have the Rams in week 7. They have the 49ers in week 9. They've got us, the Seahawks, in week 10. So that's back to back NFC West matchups. And then they have the Cardinals later in the season in week 17. So we know that obviously 7, 9, 17, those weeks, we're rooting for the Raiders. Sorry, Raiders Nation, week 10, nothing personal, but we don't want to see you win. We're rooting for our Seahawks. Now, in terms of just the overall schedule, the Rams do have a stint. It's from weeks 14 through 16, where they have 3 straight home games, right? And we've talked about this playing at home. Obviously, home field advantage is a thing for a reason. But having to be able to stack those home games and spend 3 straight weeks, almost a month, if you consider the front end and the back end of those 3 weeks, spending a month at home, that just brings a consistency that you just can't ignore it. So they got 3 straight home games. None of these are home games with quotation marks where they're actually traveling to play one of the international games. These are truly in Vegas. 2 of those games are back-to-back division games, so they're hosting the Chargers and the Broncos back-to-back games within those 3 weeks. Um, but moving on, we've got at 11, we've got the Los Angeles Chargers. I know you were on that cliffhanger. You thought we might have been talking about the Rams. No, not yet. Unfortunately, they are a more important team, so we'll hear about them later on in the rankings. But at 11, the LA Chargers, which is a playoff team from last year, their NFC matchups, they face all 4 teams in the NFC West, and their matchups consist of the Cardinals in week 1. They've got us in week 4, Rams week 8, and 49ers week 15, right? So they pretty much get the NFC West out of the way in terms of their schedule the first half of the season, at least the bulk of us. They got 3 of the 4 of us in the first half of the season. And then closer towards the end of the season, they got the 49ers, which mean, a lot can change. The first half, second half of the season could be day and night. So week 1, we're Chargers fans. Week 4, sorry, Chargers. We want to see that L fall on your record, but we're rooting for you throughout the rest of the season as it pertains to the NFC West against the Rams and the 49ers. They do have 3 primetime games this year for what it's worth. The Ravens, the Patriots, and that 49er game week 15 is a primetime game as well. So all for the world to see. We'll be able to tune in and keep track of whether or not the Chargers are helping or hurting the Seahawks season based on how they perform against our foes. Um, but we're cracking into the top 10. So we're getting close. At number 10, we've got the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs, like the 2 previous teams, also face all 4 NFC West teams, with their first matchup being against us in week 7, the Seahawks. They also have the Cardinals week 11, Rams week 13 and the 49ers week 16. No shocker, they've got a lot of primetime games this year. They've got six against the Broncos, Colts, us, the Seahawks. That's a Sunday night game, if I'm not mistaken. The Bills, Rams. So they got two primetime games against the NFC West. So we get to uh, watch closely on what they do against the Rams, and they also have the Patriots. Now they have three straight road games. That's weeks 12 through 14. So that game against the Rams is on the road. That is in LA. And we obviously we want the Chiefs to win that game. We really want the Chiefs to win that game, knowing that it's at LA. And we'll talk more about why that's significant a little bit later in the series. But um, that three game road stint also includes a Thanksgiving game against the Buffalo Bills. Um, oh, and the Rams game is a Thursday night game, so it'll be on Amazon Prime. So they got back-to-back Thursday games, so no loss of rest between those games, which is a good thing for us as Seahawk fans. Moving on, number 9, we've got the Denver Broncos, another playoff team. You're starting to see the trend here where I start off this team. Also faces all four of the NFC West teams. So in week 3, they got the Rams. Week 4, they got the 49ers, so back to back. Week 6, they've got us. And week 7, they got the Cardinals. So they get the NFC West out their way, the whole entire division. They get out of their way in the first half of their season. So we're Bronco fans. Weeks 3 and 4. Um, week 6, not unfortunately, we actually love rooting against the Broncos. It's pretty fun. That fan base, for whatever reason, has a problem with Seattle. I don't know um, if it's the 43-8, Super Bowl 48. I don't know if it's the Russell Wilson trade. I'm not sure. Maybe it's a combination of all those things, but they really don't like us. And the feeling is mutual. So we'll root for them for the sake of the division rivalry. But other than that, the Broncos can kick rocks. They do have 5 primetime games this year. They face the Chiefs, the Rams, us, the Seahawks, the Steelers, and the Bills. For what that's worth. Moving and down to number 8, we've got the New York Giants. Um, Real quick pause. The city of New York has got to be on fire. Shout out to the Knicks. Um, the New York Giants aren't the Knicks, so I don't know that this is like momentum that will roll from the NBA to the NFL. But hey, we witnessed history, at least for those who are my age. I have not lived to see the Knicks win a championship up until last week. Um, but the Giants, the New York Giants, they have their NFC West schedule that is as follows. Second week of the season, week 2 they got the Rams. Week 4 they got the Cardinals. Week 13 they've got the 49ers, and week 14 they've got us. 4 primetime games. No shocker, they'll face the Cowboys on prime time. That Rams game is a primetime game. They've also got the Commanders, another division rival of theirs, and the Lions. 4 of their divisional matchups are after their week 8 bye week. So their bye week is almost smack dab in the middle of the season, which is always, well, depending on how you feel about bye weeks, but closer to the middle of the season is usually a good thing in my opinion. So they got that bye week almost right there in the middle of the season, and most of their divisional games come after that bye week, which just by essence means that they have a softer schedule that first half, which means that they can get off to a really good start, or they have reason to at least. And the reason why I say it's softer schedule is because literally no matter how good or bad a team is, those divisional games are always dogfights. Now, those four divisional games after their bye week include back-to-back games at Dallas and versus the Eagles to end the season. So they got one home game, one away game to end the season, and they're both divisional games. Um, Moving on to number 7, a rival of the Giants are the Washington Commanders. The Washington Commanders, they've got the entire NFC West, which means that they have to face the Seahawks back-to-back seasons. We faced them last week on Sunday Night Football. I attended that game. That Ty Okada interception, which was his first, I believe, career interception, happened right in front of me. That was a blowout game. The score escapes me. I want to say it was 38-14, somewhere around there. Um, Quick brag. I told the fans that they were going to learn who Torrey Horton was prior to the game starting. I said they would know who he was by the end of the game. I was wrong. They knew who he was before the first half was even over. Horton had 2 touchdowns before halftime. But anyway, that's the past. Let's move on to the future, to the current task at hand. The Commanders face the Seahawks in Week 3. Then in Week 6, they've got the 49ers. Then the Rams Week 9. Then the Cardinals Week 12. In other words, after they face us, anytime they face the NFC West, we can be Commander fans. Now, I'm not saying that they are going to win those games. I don't know what type of bounce back year they're going to have. That's not my dog. That's not my concern. Any given Sunday, if they can beat the Rams in week 9, if they can beat the 49ers in week 6, and they can beat the Cardinals in week 12, they literally could lose every single other game of the season. And they've done me a solid. They do have 5 primetime games this season against the Colts, 49ers, Eagles, Giants, and Bengals. They've got 3 straight home games, but it's a fraudulent 3-game homestand because they do face the Colts in London. So their 3-game home stretch is weeks 3 through 5, so earlier in the season. But again, it's not truly all games in DC because they'll have to travel over uh, across the pond. Anyway, another NFC East team ranking at number 6 are the Dallas Cowboys. Um, Now, this shouldn't come as a shocker, but I'm gonna just note it to start the thing off. Cowboys have 8 primetime games this year. The world has to watch the Cowboys, or gets to watch the Cowboys, depending on what side of the coin you're on, 8 times. They've got the Giants, the Ravens, the Bucks, the Packers, both both games against the Eagles in that divisional rivalry are prime time. They got Seahawks prime time and the Jaguars. So, like every other team, this episode they face the entire NFC West. Their NFC West schedule is as follows: they've got the Cardinals Week 8, 49ers Week 10, Seahawks Week 13, and Rams Week 15. So again, almost smack dab halfway through the season is when they start their tour against the NFC West, Week 8 with the Cardinals. So we'll root for the Cowboys for almost most of the second half of the season, with the exception of Week 13 against us. 4 of their divisional matchups are actually before their Week 14 bye week, which actually isn't necessarily shocking because they have a later bye week in the season. They have back-to-back games against the Giants or at the Giants, and then a home game against the Commanders to begin the season. So they start off getting their divisional games out of the way. They've got a 3-game homestand, weeks 10 through 12, which includes a Thanksgiving divisional game against the Eagles. I feel like those 2 teams always play each other um, on Thanksgiving. I know the Cowboys always play on Thanksgiving, but it feels like it's always against Philly. I could be wrong there. Doesn't necessarily matter. That game has uh, really small, little to no implications on what happens with the Seahawks. All I care about is them losing to us and beating our foes. Um, they do have 3 games this season where they'll be playing off of at least 10 days worth of rest. This is week 6 against the Packers, week 13, unfortunately, against us, and more about that when we do get to the Seahawk breakdown of their actual season schedule. But they also have 10 plus days of rest against the Rams in week 15. We like that. Um, So that's the Cowboys' season in a nutshell, or at least their schedule, I should say. Um, yeah, with that information as you will. We'll move on. Final team for episode 3 are the Philadelphia Eagles, another playoff team. They've got 7 primetime games. Their primetime games consist of the Bears, the Jaguars, the Cowboys twice, because we just mentioned that about the Cowboys, the Commanders, us, the Seahawks, and the Texans. For some reason, I am struggling to see where they face our foes. So let me actually just do something real quick. I'm obviously more prepared than other times, but let's just look this up. Do, 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 do. Bear with me 1 second. Oh, that actually doesn't tell us the week, so that's not going to necessarily help. Here we go. There we go. So, week 4 is when they face the Rams. That's a home game for the Philadelphia Eagles. So we'll be fans of the Eagles, Bird Gang. Week 4, we've got um, they've got Arizona week 13, us week 15, as I made mention to. They do have us on their schedule for a primetime game. That's a Saturday afternoon game, which is a little unorthodox. And again, we'll talk about footnote that we'll talk about that game later on in the series as well, and its significance. And they also obviously have the 49ers in week 14, which is at Lumen Field Junior. You guys might still call it Levi Stadium, but I don't. Lumen Field Junior is where that game will be played. So again, week 4, week 13, 15, and 17 are the games to circle on the Philadelphia Eagles calendar if you are a Seahawks fan, on whether or not you're rooting for Philadelphia or rooting against, which should be easy. Week 15 is the only time you should root against them actively, unless you have some other vendetta against Philly that I am completely unaware of. But that is the breakdown of the NFC East and AFC West teams. Those are the 2 divisions that have the NFC West in its entirety on their schedule this year. So that's why they are as significant as they are to the Seahawks, because not only do they play us, but they play our foes. So anytime they win against those guys, it's a win for us. And obviously, we want everybody that plays us to lose. So that is that breakdown. I will bring episode 4 to you within, say, about a week and a half, since we do have 8 teams that we just broke down. We'll go ahead and let these teams breathe again. Thank you to everyone that has pushed the follow or subscribe button, whether that's been on Facebook, whether that's been on Instagram, I haven't checked Twitter, but I'm sure there might be some followers there. I haven't checked TikTok either. Those two social medias, excuse me, will get just as active, but you can certainly find a lot of content on Instagram and Facebook. Obviously, here on YouTube. Um, if you have any questions, I mean, by all means, comment. We're very active in communicating with the family, with the West Hawkin family. Thank you to everyone who's been sharing, who's been commenting. The reach has been amazing. Um, some surprising news or facts. Let me look at it. I'm gonna pull it up here now. But um, one thing that I suspected would happen is a lot of traffic would gravitate to our pages when we posted the Beastquake. Looking back at memory lane when the Beastquake took place against the Saints, um, that wasn't that wasn't the post that did the most numbers. Surprisingly, it was um, the um, the divisional game against the Falcons. A lot of us have really honed in on that game that we lost, having given up the field goal at the very end of the game after mounting that comeback behind rookie Russell Wilson and Marshawn Lynch to take that, what was it, 28 to 27 lead with about 20 seconds left or so, and for some strange reason, LOB could not get the stops needed to keep them out of field goal range. Long story short, they kicked the field goal and move on, and we do not move on, which ultimately was a defining moment in Seahawk history because it was declared in that locker room. I believe it was even Russell Wilson who said, "We will go to the Super Bowl next year." And not only did we go to the Super Bowl next year, we made light work of the Denver Broncos 43-8. So that is a very defining moment in Seahawk history. It's probably in this book that I received for Father's Day. But yeah, you guys all really gravitated to it. But by all means, consume all of the content that we're sharing. We're going to go through memory lane with all the teams that we just reviewed today. So we'll see memory lane of the Raiders, whether that's Oakland Raiders or LA Raiders or Vegas Raiders, who knows? We'll dig through the crates to find something that's really significant, whether the San Diego Chargers or the LA Chargers. We'll figure that out. And obviously Chiefs, Broncos, and everyone else that we've already listed. But I'm rambling at this point. It's your boy Tay P, aka TSN. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you in a bit. Peace.